Here's a question. Where do you think you will be in 50 years? Nerf gun assassin for me. Welcome everyone to another trailer to film. This is where I take 3 scenes from the trailer and talk about its impact and if it holds up, conveying the same excitement within the film as it did the trailer. And here we're going to be talking about Polar. See, now Polar is one of those movies that actually came out quite a few weeks ago. I was like, hey, that looks interesting. Saw the trailer, went, okay, I might be sold on it. I had no idea it was coming out on Netflix, even though the trailer says, well, it's a slow week. Why the heck not? From trailer to film, let's get into this. Taking this off in the high gear, this is exactly how the trailer is conveying its movie. It is very quick and to the point. So if you kind of look at this scene here, this is not one of the 3 scenes I'm going to be picking here, but if you look at this, that's sort of how the editing and the style of this film is gonna be like. So it was very interesting, and it does keep things from being a little too boring. But the first scene that I actually am going to pick out is the multitude of scenes that are in this trailer, but it really conveys a big idea that you would probably overlook.
I like it here. It makes me peaceful.
I'm retired.
What was your job?
I was in the funeral business.
So you kind of get the idea that they're both kind of out of their element, out of their place, but they're in this one area just to be themselves. Mads Mikkelsen character, he's sort of retiring, as the trailer conveys. Retirement is kind of a hell of a thing. If you can make past the 50-year mark, you're kind of scot-free, but not really, especially when you've got the big guy of this whole entire assassin corporation. He's just kind of like, hey, guess what? I really want this company to thrive, so let's start killing off retirees, and that is our policy. You have to retire when you're 50. Let's make some moolah. And so, you got the big baddie that's kind of swearing up a storm because things aren't going his way. He finally has an idea to get it all done, and then we pretty much have our plot, and Mads Mikkelsen, sadly, is in the heat of it.
You better pray you have nothing to do with it.
And the assassin's name is Duncan, so when Duncan is actually put to a job, he actually kind of gets it done. He doesn't care, he is just straightforward. He knows what to do and how to do it, and he has no remorse. Very unapologetic. This is what the material's like. This is everything that you're gonna see, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And for a lot of these things, you're probably going to enjoy it. I enjoyed it for the most part. I just kind of found myself kind of going, not my cup of tea. And not to say without Vanessa Hudgens in this, when she shows up, I'm thinking, you know what, this is probably going to slow things down. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. And sadly, things do slow down. The moment she shows up, you're just kind of like, they're going to form a bond. He likes her. This is going to be the rest of the movie. Not quite. I will only hint at this. While this movie is kind of in your face, unapologetic, and it's violence, it's raunchy humor, and a lot of sexual content, you're gonna find yourself kind of perplexed by its ending because it finally put everything back into its corner. Like, okay, you saw all that? Here are things that you weren't seeing. So that kind of tells you, pay attention. In those slow moments with Vanessa Hudgens and Mads Mikkelsen, pay attention. So this other scene, the moment I saw this one, I kind of figured, it's a great scene. It's kind of clever in terms of dialogue and the situations, but I don't know, is this a spoiler?
Thought you stopped smoking.
Figured it wouldn't kill me.
Because, I mean, seriously, you executed a great moment and then showed the outcome of it. And I thought that would have been a great thing to find out in the middle of the movie. Like, oh, he laid waste to everyone. Does the girl in red survive? And while I won't spoil that fact, I'll tell you what. This is kind of one of those things where I kind of get a little, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. But in this case, it is kind of a spoiler, but it's a scene that's really direct and to the point. It doesn't really bother you once you see it. You're like, yep, he's going to lay waste to everybody. But what's it for? Why is this happening? It's not bad. I liked it. This is where things really pick up. And not for naught, but, we get this scene. Which, I gotta say, what happens before this scene and quite literally after, there is a lot to consider. I think that the story, as it was progressing, turned into something that I wasn't quite sure if I liked. I was just kind of like, I've seen this story a couple of times beforehand. There are other movies that do it better. There are movies that do it worse. This one kind of embraces its weird, offbeat humor and brutality. The biggest flaws that I have isn't with its violence. The ad-libbing kind of sucked when, you get these assassins that are coming in to do cleanup and trying to find Mads Mikkelsen's character in the meantime, and they come across some really interesting people, and it's just like, that's really weird. I don't like that at all. The way these people sounded, the ad-libbing sounded weird, and sometimes the dialogue was really terrible. But sometimes they lead to great moments like this tunnel scene. You go from really low in your own material to really high when you embrace it and go all out, and that tunnel scene is where it goes all out. So it's like, you see where it comes from, and then it goes, oh crap, sorry, let me focus out. Boom! Surprised you, didn't I? In some ways, if you are into that raunchy, gritty, in-your-face, violent humor and all that stuff, it's trying to make death funny, even in some cases, then this is going to be a movie for you. For me, I'm in the middle. I'm sort of in the middle with this. I think that it's going to be a great film for some, and then others are like, not really into it. Guys, in the end, I did have some issues with this, as I had said beforehand. Other times, I was not even sure what to expect in terms of its material. I just knew in editing choice and story, I was hooked, and I'm a big fan of Mads Mikkelsen. I'd maybe watch it again if somebody else did. I might want to rewatch it at some point just to kind of maybe get a good feel for it. But that ending really did send some things home for me that I was like, now it all makes sense. For that, I liked Polar, but probably not enough to own, and if I have to watch it again, it would be with somebody else. So, guys, did you see the Netflix movie Polar? Let me know down below. If you like what you've seen here and want to see more, I would appreciate a like, a comment, a subscribe, if you've got a second. I do movie reviews and TV show reviews, and for all of those things and more, I will get you more videos in the future.